Now, rising the list here a little bit, we're going to move on to a team over the border, northern border. That's going to be the Toronto Raptors. So currently, Toronto has a record of 23-41. That puts them 12th in the Eastern Conference. They did make the move to extend Kelly Olynyk. They actually got them in that trade with the Jazz we just discussed earlier. He gets a chance now to kind of gain some familiarity with Immanuel Quickley. So that's the point guard he's going to be working with in these tandems and the pick and rolls. And obviously, Quickley is a guy we have to highlight here because
Yes.
coming over from New York, all eyes are on him. Is he a six man? Is he really cut out to be a starter that can just dominate a ton of possessions for this team? What's interesting here, he's playing a lot more minutes per game. Before he was in the 20s, he was not playing that many minutes per game, maybe 20 minutes a game. Now he's all the way up to 30 plus. So we knew that was going to happen being a starter. But the interesting point here is his usage rate hasn't really changed all that much. It's almost the same as it was in New York, even
Which is
with
impressive.
it is. It just kind of shows that he's very efficient with his possessions. And I think it was just it might have been the last game, but he had 17 assists, I want to say. It was the last
I had that. I was going to get to that. 21 points, 18 assists, 9
18.
rebounds, and I believe he only had 2 turnovers. So it was,
That's
an
immaculate.
it was a box score perfection right there.
Absolutely. Like Quickley is just a guy, and his assist rate is gone up considerably. So he was only at about 2.5. He's added 4 on top of that. So now he's at about 6.5 a game. The efficiency is interesting because from 2, he's dropped off from 50% 2-point percentage to 43. The 3-point percentage has gone the opposite direction. So it's gone from 39% to 41% in his game since he's been a Raptor. So he's knocking down his threes. The 2-point percentage, it's a struggle for him. I think that's just because a lot of it is because the guys he's going up against now, starting talent. So he's still very quick, but just that adjustment of having to go against some of the best in the league from night to night, starting lineups is going to affect him a little bit until he can get used to that. 18 points a game. That's an increase of about 3 per game from where he was at before. The Quickley growth is something I'm keeping an eye on. I think that's a reason to be really excited about his upside, about what he can do with the Raptors.
Oh, I think they're going to have reasons to be excited, not just because of a Quickley's growth, but because if they continue on this pathway, I think the Grizzlies are going to pass them, and I think their goal ultimately is to keep that top 6 protected pick. Right now, they're 7th from the bottom in the standings. I think they're going to let the Grizzlies catch them. So I think Raptors fans will have plenty to cheer for, just not in a way that they're used to. Instead of cheering for playoff seeding, I guess they're going to be cheering for tanking seeding, but it's still something. Quickley has done a phenomenal job, and even over just the last, I took these stats before last game, but he was averaging 20 points, 11 assists, and 7 rebounds in his last 5. So even some of the assist stuff you're talking about, like there's been a huge increase just in the past few weeks, where I think he's gotten more comfortable with being, hey, you're not just on the Knicks. He was the main bench point guard, but point guard could be used a little bit liberally there. He was more the bench scorer. Now I think he's starting to adjust to being, hey, you're our starting point guard. That means you're going to be in charge of distribution. And I think he's started to do a really good job with that. I think on this team as a whole, I'm also intrigued by this new RJ Barrett. I thought he would be better with Toronto than he was with New York, just because of how Toronto runs their offense. They're only telling him to attack advantages that have been created by somebody else. So he's getting to attack with more open lanes. It's not like a stagnant offense where it was like, oh, here, you take it now, RJ Barrett. We want you to create. Good luck. Mm-hmm. That's not his game. I don't think that's ever been his game. I don't think he really played like a star per se in New York, just because he would score a lot, but most of it was either he's a force in transition. So it was either that or just him chucking up a lot of shots, trying to get to the rim and not really succeeding or getting, he doesn't have that sort of elevation or that sort of like skill level around the rim. So I didn't really view him as a star, and I thought his defense was starting to slide the last year or so. But with the Raptors, he kind of looks like a new man. Like defensively, I think he's fine, but it's more offensively. Like his 2-point percentage is up, and most of that is because I think the advantages he's had created for him by Quickley and then Scotty before he got hurt. I think a lot, and I guess Schroeder when he was there, a lot of that has helped him kind of pick and choose his spots more wisely, and I think it's helped him have a step or two on his defender so that those finishes are easy for him. And if you give him a driving lane, that's the one thing he's always been really aggressive, even since high school and college, about
Yeah.
taking the driving lane afforded to him and just being like a bowling ball and just getting his way through and getting a shot up. So I think giving him that sort of usage and giving him that sort of role has been beneficial to his game. And I think long term, it does make me much more interested in RJ Barrett than I thought I would be. So I think that's another good reason to keep watching their games.